Okay, so this is my Lab 2 endogenous theory versus endosymbiotic theory, with the endogenous being the top and the endosymbiotic being the bottom. And so the main point of the endogenous theory is that it's related to endocytosis and it has a cell membrane that came from a host cell plasma membrane. So right here in the first stage, you have prokaryotes are free-flowing with cytosols surrounded by a cell membrane. That's what's going on here in the first stage. And then when you move on to the second stage, it invaginates DNA. And then when you move on to the third stage, it's like it pinches off and leaves these two internal vesicles. And then in the last stage here, these two internal vesicles are going to go through compartmentalization of photosynthetic and respiratory functions, and that's where the chloroplasts and the mitochondria are going to be created. So this one was a little bit harder to find information about, but this is what I found regarding the endogenous theory. So that's the cycle or the stages of the endogenous theory. And then when you move on down here to the endosymbiotic theory, its main points, cell engulfs bacteria as a whole, and it has no new membrane. And so the first stage here is it's this dark circle here that is the anaerobic prokaryotic host. And down here in the red, you have the aerobic bacterium. And the next stage is going to be phagocytosis. And the bacterium is going to be engulfed by that prokaryotic host. So this is going to be the first endosymbiotic event, and the host is consuming that aerobic bacterium. And then the next stage is just showing that bacterium consumed and in the host. And this is where it evolves into the mitochondria. So right here we have our mitochondria. And so we're moving on to our next stage. We're going to have another bacteria that's going to be engulfed. And this is going to be a photosynthetic bacterium. And this is going to be our second symbiotic event. So this photosynthetic bacterium is going to be consumed. We already have our mitochondria here. So it's going to be consumed into it. And so then after that photosynthetic bacteria is consumed, that's going to be our chloroplast. So then we're left with our mitochondria and our chloroplast. And so that's the endosymbiotic theory versus the endogenous theory. And here is my poster comparing the two. The endogenous versus the endosymbiotic. As a whole.